Now, you think I'm gonna leave you?
No. First of all, I want to say that I freaking missed recording with you. This is Rhea, and this is Just the Who of Us, where we talk about a range of topics including life events, current events, spirituality, entertainment, family relationships, as well as answering listener questions and more. So it's been a while since we have heard from Natia, just schedule confliction and availability, but I know you guys like hearing from her, so she is with us again today. How the heck have you been, and what have you been up to?
Hey, this is Natia, and I just want to catch you guys up on my life recently and what I've been up to and where have I been. So what I've been up to is I've been working on schoolwork, college, learning about the New Testament and of the Bible, and learning all about Jesus, which is really good, and been enjoying, learning about Jesus and learning about stories I've never heard, rereading stories that I have heard, but just being able to get closer to Jesus. I know it was for school, but at the same time, I felt like it really brought me closer to Jesus, which is fantastic.
Religion can be a very intense thing. It can be, it's just like everything else. We kind of go through changes in regard of sometimes what we believe, what beliefs we practice, how we practice those, rituals, so on and so forth, from the ritualistic portion of religion to the very basic beliefs. And it's really something that I feel like everybody kind of goes through different changes and adjustments in life. It's like most other things educationally. The more we learn about something, it changes us in some way. For the better, for whatever.
In my autobiography, I talk about my relationship with religion myself. I talk about faith. I talk about my, relationship off and on with Christianity, studying for the degree and the things that I learned, the things that kind of changed my perspective a little bit in certain areas. I've been religious to a point of being judgmental. I've also been the complete opposite, and I had to kind of find my balance. On page 72, I talk about this a lot. Ups and downs of experiences, mistakes, regrets, learning periods involving faith and religion and things like that. And it's a journey. It's been a journey for me. I know it's been a journey for you. And I know it's a journey for a lot of people. A lot of people can relate to this experience. And the fact that you talk about it kind of consistently is appreciated, because I know a lot of people can relate to the ebbs and flows of it.
But it's definitely a thing that we go through changes with.
On that subject, though, there's a lot of things I've changed in my life. One thing that I have changed is I'm friending my birth mom on social media, because every time we would video chat or talk, she always tried to point out some flaws off me, like wax your eyebrows or cut your hair or you look fat or whatever, And then like recently, for actually a long time now, it's been a while since we've actually video chatted, but she acts like I don't even exist. And that's pretty hard for me to just keep it up, She was the one who broke the relationship in the first place by giving me adoption. I'm not the one who needs to try to fix that relationship. She's the one who has to fix the relationship, and she hasn't been trying, so I gave up.
As a lot of people know, I went through periods in my life where I intentionally distanced myself from family as well. And, sometimes it's the healthy thing you have to do. It's not fair to keep people in your life who aren't healthy for you, even if that person is related to you by blood. So what? I don't know. For some people, It's important, it's mandatory, but I have just learned in my own life that if you are not healthy for me, it doesn't matter, who you are, how we're related, if we're not, whatever, how long I've known you. If you're unhealthy for me or if I'm unhealthy for you, we need to take a break. And it is perfectly okay to do that. You don't even have to do it in an unhealthy manner. You can just simply, hey, I've got some things going on. We are not healthy for each other at the time, and we need to take a break. Come back and work on the relationship, whatever you need to do. But if someone is unhealthy for you, or if you are unhealthy for them, I think it is perfectly fine. I think it is perfectly fine to take a break from that person or those people.
One thing about it is that a lot of people, when I first found my birth mom, a lot of my birth mom's friends were like talking to me and everything like that. But now they just don't talk to me at all. And I just kind of got tired of feeling like I don't exist to them. So I just made it easier for her to not talk to me. Now, I unfriended her. I didn't block her. So if she ever wants to create that relationship, the door's open, but I just couldn't. She can always try to refriend me, but I just moved on from it, she doesn't. I feel like she made me feel like I wasn't worth her time or energy or whatever. I just kind of moved on, and she was never communicating with me or anything like that, so I just got tired of it.
So I think that, we all kind of go through points in our life where we go through changes, right? And sometimes the changes are easy, sometimes they're difficult. It's ebbs and flows, it goes up and down, back and forth, and so on. And I think that what kind of atmosphere we choose to have for ourselves is very important. It determines what kind of support we're going to have, how we're going to process these life changes and things like that. And I think that, I think who we have as a support system is always important.
And then so another thing about my life recently is that I think a lot of you know that I used to be very promiscuous and sleeping around with a lot of people. But I've changed my ways and following God and Jesus, and now I haven't had sex since December, and I want to keep that going until I find someone very, very close. Like, my goal is not to have sex before marriage, and if a person can't respect that or cheats on me or something, that's on them, and I move on. And let's see what else has been new. I have been struggling with a lot of anxiety. Haven't been able to leave my apartment as much. I've been struggling with that. I've been trying to get out a little bit more, but that's a really hard challenge for me right now. And just trying to change the anxiety. I actually have been off medications for 2.5 weeks now. For the medication I was on was for bipolar, and so sorry, I kind of forgot what medication did for me, but it was like a mood stabilizer. And the medication, I've been off it. At first, when I first got off the medication, I had a really bad depressive episode. But after a couple days, I have been feeling fine ever since then with depression-wise. Anxiety still is kicking my ass right now. But I'm trying to find other ways to cope with that and to keep myself busy. I also am trying to, get my life back together a little bit, but it's not an easy path, and I'm trying to just deal with it as best as I can, trusting in God, trusting in Jesus, that He will show me the way and help me through this anxiety, show me that the world has nothing to fear with Him by my side, and that no matter what happens, if something did happen, that that it's all part of Jesus' plan or God's plan, and that no matter what, they have my back, and just trying to focus on more positive aspects of my life. I've also changed who I talk to, which I don't talk to many people anymore because I felt like I was giving in more into the relationship than they were, so I don't have many friends anymore. And I try to not also be easy to be taken advantage of, and kind of learning how to set my own boundaries and set my own, stand up for myself. And honestly, one thing about me that's also has changed is that I'm not looking for any sort of relationship at this point. I'm not looking for anything in a sense of like a romantic relationship, because there's a lot of things I still need to work on myself, and I just don't want to get into a relationship that I'm not ready for. And also, I'm also trusting in God that when the right person does pop up, that He'll show me that's the right person, and that and they have to, of course, for me to be in a relationship with them, they had to put God first. That's like the bottom line, God first. Like, that's gotta be the bare minimum. To worship together, to listen to worship music together. But right now, I just don't see that in the cards for me at this moment. Not really expecting it right now. Don't really want it. And I have become very, very content with living alone and being on my own. With this anxiety, I know that I have gotten a lot of help from the people around me, like my parents. But I'm hoping that I can go back to living independently and, getting a job, keeping a job. And I don't know if you guys knew this, but I did have a job, but then the anxiety started to get really, really bad, and I lost the job because I just couldn't. I had anxiety through the roof. You see, with my anxiety, the anxiety gets really bad when I leave my apartment, and it feels like the world is such a scary place, and I'm trying to retrain the way I think. My parents have been my number one supporter in this. I also have my mentor, who's been another number one supporter, and just trying to help me get through. One way I've been coping with all this anxiety and some depression and everything is through my writing. I write poetry. I write like conversations with Jesus. I actually am trying to create a book out of my conversations with Jesus that talks about like different forms of mental health, like OCD, stuff I deal with, like borderline personality disorder, bipolar, a lot of different mental health, like depression. I talk about suicide, I think, like 3 times in it. But it really shows you how Jesus would respond to those types of situations, and to talk with him, and how talking to him just helps, and it really feels like he's in the room with you. And of course he's always in the room with you, but like this is more of like a physical human appearance of him. And it really just shows like his perspective on what you're going through, and kind of like his wisdom and his guidance. I throw in Bible verses here and there to kind of support what he's saying. And it's just like you're like talking like face to face to him. And then he also is a big hugger, as a lot of people who read the Bible would know, is he's a big hugger. And so it always ends with a good hug from Jesus, which is pretty... I think it's always like comforting to like imagine his embrace around you, because it's just full of love, safety, careness, and that is just comfort. It's really amazing it really is amazing what you can learn from yourself just talking to him and trying to talk from his perspective, which is a really good thing to do, in my opinion. It really helped me through some dark times, helped me create decisions, helped me to know what the next move is, and also just transform my faith. It really made my faith stronger and connect with God and Him a lot more and a lot stronger. It's like because the thing about it is, it's as real as it can. It's as real as anything in this world, and that love is there. And through these writings that I do, you can really see that, and that He would do anything for you. Just listen, or give you advice, or just do whatever He feels will help you. And 100% of the time, what He does help you. So it's just a great way to release what's going on inside of me and giving it to God and giving it to Jesus and let them take care of it, because they are fighting your battles for you. You can't fight these battles alone. If you do, you're going to lose. But if you fight them and let Jesus and God help you fight it, or fight the battle for you, you're good to go. Trying to figure it out. And so that's where I'm at. And if you have any questions, just let me know or let Rhea know, and we'll try to answer them. And I hope everyone's doing good.
If anyone wants to chime in, or if anybody has questions they want us to answer or topics to discuss, you can leave that on the Facebook page. Visit www.philolity.net. That's FALOLITY.